Good morning, Manchester United fans all around the world. This is Mick Ruby from MUFC Realist TV coming at you live with the latest and greatest regarding Manchester news and transfer news. And boy, do we have a lot of things to talk about. We apologize we didn't want to go live because bad news is not always good news and good news is not always, bad news. So in a way, this is our stories for today. And of course, we have to talk about what is going on with INEOS, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Brailsford, and Jean-Claude Blanc, and what is going on with the manager situation. Who is the secret manager that they are apparently approaching that is not on the list? What is going on with Greenwood? Manchester United has reported that they want 40 million upfront and some sell-on clauses. There's a lot of clubs interested, but what does that tell you? What's going on with Chelsea and our long-term target, Micheal Olise? Well, apparently Chelsea is doing what Chelsea do best. It's copy-paste. Do they really need a winger, or they're just disrupting whatever Manchester United target is? Manchester United has been sitting, debating who the targets are. Will they need Olise, or will they turn to Jadon Sancho, which is also reported that potentially he's not going to stay at Dortmund. He might come back to United, which is panic station. It's not PS4, PlayStation. It's panic station among the club officials, and Manchester United fans are going on a meltdown. And also when we're talking about Chelsea, Benjamin Sesko, which is a striker target. You know what? 45 million release clause is ticking, tick-tock. And Manchester United are sitting on their hands, doing nothing at the moment, while Arsenal is kind of going in for him. Chelsea is going also in for him, and apparently Manchester United have put in a proposal. What is that gonna be? Bruno Fernandes scoring a screamer with Portugal, and Bruno Fernandes demands a new bumper contract. Let's do this cool and composed. Get involved in the chat.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Dankjewel. I feel welcome. Dit is my home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Good morning, Vietnam! You know that movie where napalm farms are falling, everything's on flame, everything is on fire. Good morning to you, and this is the world of Manchester United, what we are living, and Twitter and social media is kind of reporting it is imminent. Ten Hag is getting the sack today, or is he? Guys, welcome to MEFC Realist TV Morning Edition. We do apologize that we didn't go live yesterday, and I have a valid explanation why. And that's why I said no news is good news and no good news is no news at all. I simply didn't want to sort of go online yesterday and regurgitate what everyone is kind of saying and reporting, because it's repetitive and I don't want to clickbait. But we do have some bad news, we have some good news, so let's start off with the positive, shall we? Of course, what I did want to talk about yesterday is, of course, the never-ending spinning story regarding Bruno Fernandes and the renewal of his contract and what he's demanding. And lo and behold, I don't know where the figure comes that he's demanding a 350k a week because he wants to be rewarded. And there's been a lot of debates in Twitters and socials. Why should we then, we are looking down to sort of cut that wage bill down. And why would we give Bruno, that has 2 years left on a contract plus extension 1 year? Well, simple as that. Bruno wants to win shit, and he looks at Rashford that has done jack shit. It's getting 350k a week. And he's currently saying, well, hang on a minute. I've been carrying this team for 2 weeks. I've been consistent. I've been playing through pain barriers. I'm always available. Of course, give Bruno 300k a week or 350. And that's about it, right? Because Bruno yesterday, by the way, if you didn't see that game, the friendly game, Finland-Portugal, what a screamer. Stats is now saying that Bruno in this season for Portugal played 10 games, scored 10 goals and six assists, proving his worth. And by the way, Euro is starting in 1 week away from now, so a lot of debacles. Anyway, big up to everyone that's coming in here, legends in the chat. Who do we have here? Let's go. Mark Nurse is saying here, let's go. Ten Hag in, Sesko out in Nacho 2. Big up, guys. Big up to you. Kenny Fan TV. Lucky Singh is here. Dana Worth won't be here this summer. You sacking without consent. Listen, I'm tired of this sacking. Let's talk about that, cool and composed, as we are the voice of reason in a way. You know what? Not many credible journalists are actually reporting he's sacking, right? It started with some kind of tier twos started the train thought of journalists, and some journalists that Manchester United ruined their careers for, like ESPN, are still pushing the narrative. Fabrizio Romano is milking the cow as long as he can, saying that Manchester United has been speaking to other managers as well during these 4 or 5 weeks, but it's kind of milking the cow a little bit because nobody really knows what's really going on. We're going to sign Jack, and his surname is Shit, which means we are really don't know what's going on in the transfer market either. So, Shitsu to you, everyone, and long finger to INEOS, or we would call them Spinius, because why I'm saying Spinius is because there's a lot of media spin out there, and of course, the longer it goes, the more attractive it sounds in social media engagement and tricks. That sounds like Glazeonomics 2.0 is behind the scenes still calling the shot. When it comes to the end of the season reviews, media's kind of made it out to say that, listen, all eyes on focus on Ten Hag. This is all what we're going to talk about. No, 100% no. They've been talking about the transfer targets, the budgets, X, Y, Z. Omar Barada starts next week. So far, this is an unproven entity, guys. Let's just think about it, right? These are positions that we haven't had before. It's not that we're just replacing somebody, right? Omar Barada, Chief Operating Officer, great CV, but never worked as a COO, being on garden leave. And rest assured, he's probably cheeky involved without even being present at meetings, but through Zoom, some Skypes and stuff like that. Ashworth still stuck in court, deliberating. Manchester United don't want to pay extortion fees, so basically they're playing the long game. And he's going to be kind of the sporting director reporting into Omar Barada. What does he have for experience? He's the organizer. He's the spider in the web of everything. And then you have Wilcox, 100%, that it's been 8 months as a sporting director. Like, his experience is more like, academy, technical director, XYZ. But if you look at that, these bunch of people, they don't have any, experience. So this is trial and error in a way. So it leads into the transfer market. What are we going to do, right? And then we have, like, the F forever debacle about Ten Hag, sacking imminent XYZ. Listen, if they would have sacked Ten Hag, they would have sacked him a long time ago, 100%. And everyone's saying this is going to be announcement, club announcement. Why would it? Just think about it. Why would it be a club announcement? He's already employed by Manchester United. He's already under contract. So he's sweet sitting. The longer it goes, the more happy it is. And of course, this spoke about transfer targets. But what about the budget? What about the budget? And this is what we're going to talk about. Big up Origami, Inacho left footed. Yeah, I can see you guys. Let's go into the chat before we get into the stories. And of course, Mark Nurse will probably join me diving in right into this stream in a couple of minutes as well. Yeah, like you're seeing what you're saying. Sometimes today, sometimes yesterday, sometimes 2 weeks ago, decision time. It's rather sickening. Something tells me they're going to stick to Ten Hag, or what media has been reporting as well, according to the brilliant Ben Jacobs, that is very, very good at regurgitating things, saying that it's been a power struggle between Jean-Claude Blanc, who is pro Ten Hag, and the non-footballing guy that is a cycling expert, marginal percentage improvement, Dodgy Dave, aka Sky Cycling, saying we want again, so therefore we're going to create a show, and therefore everyone within the social media is going to be guessing what's going on. This is a guessing game, right? Ain't that way it works, people. Doesn't work like this, right? They're professional people, right? You invested almost like 2 billion of your own money, and you're telling me that you don't have a Scooby-Doo what's going on, or you're just flipping the coins regarding can we do transfer money at the moment. A cycling expert that knows football is really a bit dangerous. You just look at Nice, what they've been doing, been sacking 5 different managers, and where are they now? So it doesn't mean that these people knows football, right? But in terms of appointing footballing people. Like Jean-Claude Blanc is not a footballing person, but he's been doing a lot of rebuilding strategy. Juventus, PSG, Omar Barada has been heavily involved with Barcelona, Manchester City, and it's a red line here. There's a thin red line. Everything is linked to Manchester United Academy, Manchester United City Group, and of course Jason Wilcox, that worked as a technical academy director for Manchester City Group, and they are now coming together and discussing what is the style of play, what targets are we going at, and potentially what media has been saying. They've been speaking to other managers just in case. I think it's more of likely like these people, right? Uh, they know that Ten Hag has 1 year left on his contract. And normally in this, what you do is agent is pushing to have reinsurance to say, look, if you're going to stick with my guy, let's talk about reinsurance. Let's talk about contract negotiations. You remember when Ten Hag actually signed, he had more veto, more power to have a say in the transfer window. But logically speaking, what they've been saying right now, INEOS, or I don't expect optimized season. Jokes aside, I'm in a good mood today. They would just basically renegotiate everything. We are in charge of the transfers. We decide the targets. We discuss the targets with you, and we present the list to you, and you pick, right? So therefore, we need to sort of renegotiate your contract. Are you happy just to be a track coach manager? If not, we have to look at other options, right? If you look at Pep Guardiola at City, he didn't know who he was signing. They were just picking him for him and just gave him to him, and he was just there coaching. He didn't have much say in the transfer window. So this is kind of the way a proper club is operating. If you look at it, Brighton has it, City has it, Barcelona has it, Real Madrid, everyone has it except Manchester United. This is uncharted water, which creates a lot of speculations, right? Now, I know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was saying we need to be patient, but the honeymoon is over. So far, you didn't capitalize, Sir Jim, when we actually won the FA Cup to triumph that. We were, all fans were expecting that now we will kick on, right? New ownership, new money, you pumped in money into the club. What about the signings? Make some transfer signings, make some statements, and you were saying that we are going to go early in the window. Now, funny enough, I was just looking at some tweets today, and something popped up on my screen, which is coming from an account called Manchester United Forever, saying exclusive. Now, hear me out on this one, because if this is true, this is Glazeonomics 2.0. Manchester United can't spend a penny in the transfer market before July 1st. Let me repeat. Man United cannot spend a single penny in the market before July 1st. Why? That is the question I'm asking. Why? All right, so this is because of the FFP rules regarding finances. Okay, we know about the FFP, but I thought we were unclear. But here comes the crux regarding balancing the books. This is Glazeonomics. With Manchester United trying to spend on the second half of the year from 1st of July, so it doesn't get registered on the financial year. Jaw drop, mic drop. This is Glazeonomics 2.0. We heard it before. So they're being clever, box clever here to say if we do registers transfer signings before July 1st, it will go on the FFP and goes on the books. But if we do wait to July 1st, it will not count on this book's physical year. This is Glazeonomics, isn't it, guys? Oh, it's laughable. No wonder we are now sitting and dilly-dallying, regarding our transfer targets, right? We saw the toss-in was hijacked by Chelsea. 100% it was hijacked, right? Chelsea, which is copy-paste, they have no transfer policy whatsoever. They just look what everyone is doing. They've been doing this for years. Newcastle was set to sign Tosin for free. United will look at him. What does Chelsea do? Swoop in and offer him 140k a week. There's no way United would offer him 140k a week to pay more than Lisandro Martinez and to play second fiddle centre-back. No way, Jose. Bye-bye. Off you go. Right? But on the other hand, you know what? You got to look at Olise. This is a long-term target of Manchester United that we've been heavily linked with. And we know there is a release clause. We know the Olise is a Manchester United alleged supporter. We know that Chelsea were looking to buy him last year, but there was some conflicts and with Crystal Palace, which led them to say, no, we stop this transfer and we will slap a 60 million release clause on Olise. And now that release clause is open, Chelsea's pounding in. Here's what Chelsea do. They have 8 different wingers, and why the hell do they need an Olise? Right, they got Mudryk, they got who do they have a lot of wingers. I don't even follow Chelsea, but they have a lot of wingers. But this is Chelsea. They'd rather go and buy somebody because Manchester United is looking at it, and we are competitors with Manchester United, so rather stop them. So therefore, we're going to buy him. Right? They will pounder on just to sign it for that. Mudryk, look at that. Arsenal were in for Mudryk. Chelsea just came in and swooped and offered silly money and long-term contract. So this is what's going on, And did Manchester United drop the ball because they don't have money or they don't want to spend before July 1st? Is that a priority? Because there's a lot of dots that is linked to this story, 100%. It is. Now, the reason per se is because, we have Jadon Sancho as well, right? Breaking news. He's still employed by Manchester United. Unbelievable. Now, there was some tweets coming out to say today that, let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. The signs are pointing that Jadon Sancho will not sign for Borussia Dortmund. A permanent transfer is too expensive. That's what Dortmund is saying. The only option is another loan. Dortmund will make a proposal to Manchester United, according to Sports Bild. Right. So in this, end of the season review, they probably weighed up every possibility not to spend much money. How can we optimize? How can we bring back existing squad and make it work? Can Ten Hag kiss up and make up with Jadon Sancho if Sancho apologizes? God, what a mess. Seriously, guys, what a mess. Sancho and Greenwood are still Manchester United employees, and we haven't really sorted out. They need to come back and report for training at Carrington very, very soon. The loan is over. The loan is over. What are they going to do? Now you have Borussia Dortmund coming out and play extortion. They do have money. Come on. They do have money. It's just the crux that Manchester United will demand about £50 million for him, and they don't want to pay. They're cheeky, right? They sold us, a fake Jadon Sancho. They sold Jason Sancho. They never delivered, And now they're saying he's too expensive. Well, excuse me. You just got 25 million on the, on one of the conditions for Jude Bellingham because he won the Champions League. So you get another 25 on the add-ons from Real Madrid. So you do have money, right? And coming out with a cheeky loan. Well, that's a little bit cheeky, right? I would say, I don't know what Manchester United would do. There's a new establishment would just say, no, screw you. Either we keep Jadon Sancho, we sell him, but we're not going to loan him. That's out of the question, man. Seriously. What you guys are saying, Sancho, Barman is saying Sancho loan is stupid. His values goes down every day, and we can't let him go for nothing. Jamie Wen is laughing his ass off, like everything I said would happen in this area. Charlie Mamini said, I heard Leipzig has offered 38 million for Sancho. Dortmund is not the only destination for Sancho. 100%. Why are we stuck then on Dortmund? There's other suitors we can sort of loan him out. Another thing is regarding the finances. You know what? Breaking news today as well that regarding Greenwood, there's another situation that we need to sort of look at, right? Greenwood is another right winger. Sancho is a right winger. Olise, why are we not going for Olise all of a sudden? Did we just drop the ball and let, Chelsea have him? Or are we going to do something about it? Time would tell, but it doesn't look good at the moment, right? Manchester United, according to reports today, says the Manchester United want around £40 million for Mason Greenwood up front in cash. And also a huge percentage on the sell-on clause. Smart move. But who would pay 40 million up front in this dying financial crisis that we live in? Right? Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Dortmund, Lazio, Napoli are interested in signing him permanently. That's what the reports are saying. Well, Dortmund, you can count them out, right? If Dortmund cannot pay 50 million for Sancho, how can they pay 40 million upfront for Mason Greenwood? Mugs. Barcelona, I ruled them out. Barcelona don't have the finances. Atletico Madrid might pull off it. Juventus, also a little bit of financial problem. Lazio, Napoli. Dude, it doesn't look good. Who would pay? This is kind of giving you the indication. They want 40 million for Mason Greenwood, and Greenwood needs to come back for a report for training at Carrington as well. Doesn't it reeks that, yeah, we will listen to good offers up front for both Sancho and Greenwood, but if we don't, we will bring them back home, and we will use that excuse towards the fan base and say, hey, we tried. Look, we will try to sell them, but at the end of the day, they're ours. They're returning back home. What you guys are saying? Dodgy Dave and Joe Wilcomb's time now to make Eric Ten Hag's future. Today was Lucky Singh is saying, will Manchester United saying, should give Muppeteers a listen, very credible. Yeah, Muppeteers are very credible when it comes to that. We have 8 wingers according to Jarle Malmin. Olise is the last player club needs. We get 2 defensive, 1 striker, maybe 2 CDMs. Then talk wingers. 100% agree with you, but if you look at wingers, what is Manchester United? We always been built on wingers. We have wingers that cannot cross. They are not creative, right? Rashford is not creative. He's inverted winger. He doesn't cross, right? Does Garnacho cross the ball? Yes. Garnacho can play right. Garnacho can play left. Amad Diallo, we haven't seen much of him, right? Who else do we have as a winger? Does Sancho create creativity on the wing? Does he cross the ball? Not much what I've seen at the moment. But Olise is kind of that all-round cherry on the top that can do everything. I would arguably to say that he's far more better, right? But I don't think it's the priority. I don't think that Manchester United was counting to be rushed into this decision, right? I believe what Jarle Malmin is saying, that, the priority is to get 2 centre-backs, and we are linked to 2 centre-backs, and the latest is Giancarlo Inacio, right? Todibo, apparently what they've been saying is kind of a little bit of impossible because of the 2 UEFA investigating about the dual ownership and UEFA, and that'd be a little bit suspicious. But also, what about Lenny Euro? That's hot on the press from Lille. 40 million, and Giancarlo Ignacio. We've been definitely priced out from Brentwaite, and I think Brentwaite is another, Brexit tax 2.0 Harry Maguire. So I wouldn't sign him whatsoever. So I agree what you're saying there. Our priority this summer, according to my opinion, is 2 centre-backs, 2 midfielder, and 1 striker. Right? What you guys are saying here, let's go to the chat here. You can, what do you say, Jarle? I mean, they have started with the training field. We got Berrada incoming, Wilcox, and we are getting Ashworth. That is a good change. That is a good change, Jarle. I agree. But that's what I said earlier. Like, this is uncharted water. This is new position created that we didn't have before. And it's going to take them 12 months. And in terms of, are we ambitious enough? Are we having this ambition to fight for, 4th or 1st? Newsflash. We are Manchester United. We fans should demand winning trophies. And therefore, we have to have standards as well. Should we have patience? Yeah, we should. But how long is a piece of string? Should we wait another 3 years, 5 years to win the league? Should we be Spinius again, to be spin stories? In a way, I don't really feel like it, right? But I know I should be positive, but we should also criticize, right? That's what I mean, right? Irfan is saying Ahmad needs more game times, 100%. What you guys are saying here. Jackoff is laughing. Yeah, 100% Jamie Wayne. This club is to fight for, 100%. We need to fight for it. Let me see what you are saying regarding... Yeah, Jack Hoff is saying here, Mr. Hoff saying being part owner is just to boost Jim's ego, nothing more, nothing less. Maybe it's a vanity project. But regarding that, a little bit jumping back forward regarding the stories. But you know what? I want to touch base on the best in class as we are talking about it. And do get your comments in as well. Sorry, Jack, Lucky Singing, I got to remove your comments. We're talking about the manager thing, right? And you know what? We've been linked to, Pochettino. That's another one on the list that nobody really wants. Botteltino. We've been linked to the 2-year project man, Tuchel. TT, Thomas Tuchel. that desperately wants the job, but it doesn't mean that Manchester United want him. De Zerbi as well, which is something that I want to touch base on as well. Not really. He's got a buyout clause on 5 million, which is cheap. But apparently, the reports coming out to say that part of this delay, if you believe the media, is because they are talking to a manager, which is the preferred choice manager, that they think that can land, but just in case, this manager would have been available in 2025, but they believe they have a chance to land him, and that's why it's taking so much time. Who would that be? Interesting, because I did an article about this a couple of weeks ago, which I mentioned who are the successors for Ten Hag. Who would that be? I don't want to speculate, but if you're going to go for best in class, right? Those that are mentioned are not best in class. They're marginal, maybe Thomas Tuchel, just because he won a Champions League. He's got 1% marginal, but he's been falling out in every club. Pochettino hasn't won shit. De Zerbi doesn't want shit. Who are the managers? Yeah, in this article, I mentioned Xabi Alonso. He's available 2025. He's more best in class, somebody that they really value, according to my opinion, according to Jean-Claude's blank ranking as well. We have also been linked to Zidane. But Zidane, for me, doesn't really play the youth. The Zidane comes in when it's a ready-made team. That's how he won 4 Champions Leagues with, was it 3 or, I don't know, 3 Champions League with Real Madrid, the Kings, and 4 La Liga titles, right? So what is left, right? Pep Guardiola. Wow. I was like, you know what? With all this Omar Barada links, Pep Guardiola, City, Ashworth, City, everyone is kind of coming from the City group, right? We know that Pep Guardiola wants to leave City, right? He has to leave. He has to give answer by Christmas, his intention. Just struck my mind in a way, because I mentioned that in that article. Would you take a Pep Guardiola? He's been there for 7, 8 years. He's tired, and they are sinking ship. With this 115 allegations, and now they're suing Premier League for some stupid thing, right? Because they changed the rules, meaning they are guilty as I cannot say it because they're going to get sacked. Not what the Compass Smurf is saying, but look, go back to this ceremony, FA Cup trophy lifting ceremony. Pay attention to when City comes up to receive the medals. Pay attention to the 30, 25 seconds conversation Sir Jim Ratcliffe is sucking him, talking to him, patting him, groping him, right? With admiration. That is a clue. And then you see Ten Hag coming up there to receive his trophy or his medal. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe hardly looks at him, just pats him a little bit, slaps him in here, and moves on, and doesn't even give recognition for the coaching staff regarding the achievement for getting them into Europa League and 75 million on the books. Positive. Now, we are living in a world of conspiracy. We're living in a guesswork, but just look at it, right? Why wouldn't it be so? If they know that Pep Guardiola is best in class manager, available 2025, is going to leave, and he's going to give an answer before Christmas, maybe perhaps they're having secret conversations with him, maybe to lure him off. New project, this is what I'm going to do. And of course, they will pull the trigger if he says yes, because he actually won shit, right? He's actually worked under the model ship that, you know what, he didn't know what the hell they were buying. They were just presenting, here's the targets for you. He was just a manager with no say. This is the model they are building. If it's the mold, then Xabi Alonso as well, 100%. And the fact is, De Zerbi, as far as I know, was in the succession list plans for City if Pep leaves. So if we get all of a sudden Pep Guardiola, De Zerbi gets automatically into City. Wow. Never thought about that. Just struck my mind, guys. Listen, let's not even discuss it, what you guys are saying. Origami, I think Pep Klopp have a clause not to join rival clubs. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. They left, Like you're saying, Southgate said Oh no, no! Don't even mention Southgate. Be careful what you wish for. This is Dave Brailsworth wish list. What the hell? If we do get Southgate, if they say Southgate, hang on after Euros, we will keep Ten Hag, we will fizz him out, we will set him up for failure, we will get minimum recruitment, and then you come in. Hell, then we have to question, should we support this club? I will not back Southgate, but I will back Manchester United, but it's going to be a painful watch. Alonso also waiting for Ancelotti to leave next season, according to Origami. So there's a lot of movements within the managers market. And this season has not been like, we've seen some weird appointments, like, we've seen some weird appointments. Like, you know, Vincent Company was not Bayern Munich's first choice. It was his fifth, sixth choice. They were just desperate. You seen that Chelsea sacked Pochettino, even he got him to the Conference League. Actually, by default, they got um, Europa League until we relegated him by winning the FA Cup. But the madness is they went for Enzo Maresca. Never mind what you guys are saying. It's dodgy at the moment. So far, we are living in uncertainties and INEOS or Spinius. We just have to have a conversation, and I want to see what you guys are saying. I'm just reading the chat here. Yalim, I mean, what you're saying, I would find Pep at United as United manager to be interesting. We would get all the answers. We would be able to create pie with the squad. Wait, let me just read what you're saying here. Yolmamin is saying, I would find Pep as United manager to be interesting. We would get all the answers. Would he be able to create pie with his squad? I think so. I think so because you know what? It's not about just him. He will bring his whole entourage of expert coaches, right? The fact is that he is an obsessive manager. He's a winner. He's won a lot of trophies. He's also playing youth as well lately. He's like bringing in a lot of youth players from their academy as well. So, man, would you say no? Really? Should I create a poll? Let's do that. Let's create a poll just for fun of it. I'm going to start a poll here, guys, and I want your engagement. This is fun in a way. Let me create a poll. Hypothetically, I want Ten Hag to stay. You know my stance on it, but still, we got to sort of debate this because media is saying that they are speaking to secret candidates that media is not aware of. And if you think about it, God damn it, nobody had a Scooby-Doo when Omar Barada came out of the blue. Boom! Media was shocked. Is this the smooth operators what INEOS are doing? Just think about it. Let's start a poll. Wouldn't it be nice to be together? No, you take Pepperoni as your next United coach. Oh, that was a Q&A. Sorry. Okay. Mick here is starting a poll here, and I'm going to start this poll here. Would you take Pepperoni as your next Pep G, the G-man, as your next United coach? Poll is starting right now. Get your votes in, get your interactions going. The poll is just now saying, would you take Pep Guardiola as your next coach? Shit, the vote is going, wow. Oh, okay, let this sink in for a minute and let us dive into it. Jolly, again, actually, you rate Pep over all the other coaches. He has a success in Barcelona, Bayern, and City. And this is what I mean. This is the best-in-class manager, right? If they were looking for succession planner, like who is available right now, nobody really that tickles a feather. De Serbi, unproven. McKenna was more of a succession plan available for the long term. He happened to be available. They said no to him. 100% they said no to him. Otherwise, he would not go back to Ipswich to sign a long-term deal. You see, everything is kind of marrying things together. Managers already said yes to jobs. Who is available? But for me, it's unorthodox to go like, in 1 week left of the Euros and stuff like that to, bring it on tonight. That unfortunately, pal, you're out of job. We got Pep. Off you go. But that happened also to, if you think about it. Louis van Gaal, He won an FA Cup, got sacked because we got Jose Mourinho, the best in class manager, award-winning pedigree. So the club has done this before. It's part of our DNA. It's part of our history. We've done that. Bakte say back the manager for FFS. I am absolutely backing Ten Hag on this one because you know what? If you look at INEOS, they sacked 5 different managers, and where are they? They're nowhere near to win anything, right? So, what do they know about football? So we got to give them a little bit slack of appointing these new footballing operations. But I've been saying that the more chefs in the kitchen, the worse the soup, right? It's not going to be tasty, right? We have to sell to burn players, 100%. Yeah, we do. Anyway, guys, big up to all of you. The chat boy arrived in the house. He was basically rushing in to have his say. Mark, how you doing? Raise
Big
yourself.
up. How is
This is
everyone doing? Good morning to
levels.
everyone. I hope you are well. Good news, bad news, no news.
No
It's all the
news.
same right now until the
We're here for
transfer
the
window open.
community.
You know what I mean? You know, I've been
And
telling them, huh?
we have some positive news.
Always positive news.
Holy cow! Did you see the sub count all of a sudden? Look up.
Oh my God, 28,400. Bro, you did 4,000 this week or last week? Because it was 24.8.
I don't know. I don't look at it, man. I'm
It's
just
crazy.
doing my shit. And yesterday I just took a break. I said I don't want to do streaming for clickbaiting stuff, and I haven't really been switched on, right? So, and I'm having some problems, like with my teeth. Again, I got to go to dentist. My jaw hurts. He hurts my up here. So it's just bullshit,
Oh,
right? So I need to
man.
go and check it out. I think I have a what do you call it? An infection.
Yeah, it probably happens like, I had to go to clean my teeth and deep clean my gums. I
Yeah, I
had to
did that
go
deep
in
cleaning,
July.
and after that, I'm super sensitive to hot, cold, and I just, it just
When
really
you do
affects
it
you.
for 3 weeks, you're not supposed to drink hot tea.
Mick,
Either
no
hot tea or
coffee.
as either one. Either you drink hot stuff or you don't drink cold stuff, or you drink cold stuff
Gotta
and
drink some
drink.
hot stuff, make it
So it's one of the
fever.
two.
Yeah, I need
On the
some.
road to 30K, yes, jack off for sure. You know.
Yeah. Thank you. You're here to help me out with the chat room. Thank you. Hands free, guys. Hands free. So, what's your thoughts on what we're saying here? On the road for 30K, on the road again. Yeah, that is the
No.
dream target, guys. Then the 99 of you currently tuning in, according to what I see here, please, if we can, if you can smash the like, that would be fantastic. Can we get 100 likes in retrospect? If you're looking, if you like what you see, like,
Smash the like, people. I
smash the
mean,
like,
in
smash the
two
like.
ways, I have like two opinions. One is agreeable and one is disagreeable. In the sense, I would say no news is good news. If they don't make any statements, doesn't mean that means more likely Ten Hag is staying because he's already contracted, so they don't really have to make a statement
Exactly.
until the window opens and they start signing players. So with that, with the day that it's taking, now it's funny, right? Because I think INEOS has a decent plan with an agenda to perform, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're going to be delaying decisions. We've seen how they made
No,
the
I don't think
decisions with
so.
Barada and Wilcox. So I
Mm,
would assume, as long as we don't see any confirmation from them, maybe they already made their decision. It's already communicated to all the people and parties involved, and maybe they're
yeah.
just letting the fan base wait a
Yeah.
little bit for maybe a shock situation and the opening of the window.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have concerns about Pep Guardiola. I think he's a very good coach to the sense that he's been successful at Barcelona. He's been successful at Man City. I would say that the one concern is that at every club he goes to, there's always been an investigation for fraudulent behavior. Barca is still doing, a court case for match fixing with referees that's going to come out in July. There's Man City's 115 charges, and well, I mean, the only shocker is Bayern Munich hasn't, been investigated for any fraudulent practices. So I would have to say that the one thing constant in those two cases is Pep Guardiola and his entire team and the sporting director, because they are all part of the same team that was at Barcelona. So I would say that's the only concern. But otherwise, I think,
Oh,
whatever the
wait,
ownership
listen.
does,
Barcelona. He
they
said
do.
he's dreaming to come back to Barcelona. They just appointed Hansi Flick. So yeah. So you got to look at it from that point. I know what you're saying, I know. I'm not here to stir up some shit here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like putting my conspiracy, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Because so far it's spinning us. And silence is golden. 100% Jamie Wayne. Um, so for me, if they are looking for best in class, they're probably looking an upgrade above Ten Hag. And this is what I'm thinking, because if they're getting the best in class people to run the footballing operation, what we discussed earlier, why would they not look for the best in class manager? And Pep being the one under the city model, also, he was saying, I didn't even know we were getting Grealish, or I didn't even know they just gave me Doku. I didn't even know, right?
Well,
So
I
they
mean,
have an operation like that. So anyway, I don't want to talk about that anyway. Pep is a coach that heavily relies on heavy backing, with our guys never do. And this is what we are heading towards, like Barman, you know, because the
100%.
manager needs to be backed. But I
Oh,
agree with you. I agree with you. And this is what I'm saying. The longer this goes on, the more shambolic it is. I just read a statement that they are looking not to spend this month, but more rather than 1st of July next month, because that's a new that's the start of financial year according to FFP. If they do spend now, that gets registered and that affects the overall transfer budget. So it might be like, I spoke to some credible people and nobody really knows what's going on. So we came to a conclusion. We've been speaking, journalists among each other, tier ones as well, and a lot of people saying that most likely they are talking regarding a contract negotiation. Right? He's got 1 year
oh,
left on his contract, and this is what's taken. They already established a recruitment plan. Don't you believe that Omar Barada, which you absolutely seen videos displayed before, how he operates and how they sit and discuss? Michael Olise is 60. Is it too much? Do we need it? No. How much are we going to pay? Did they drop the ball all of a sudden? Say, no, we don't need him, right? This is the low priority, right?
I feel like, for one, I will say this much, right? I think in our attack, the only necessary option is a striker. We have a backup striker being promoted in young Ethan Wheatley, who has performed well in the under 18s as a third string. We need to get someone who's going to compete for starting role or as a backup for Hoyland, one out of the two, whichever it be. If they could be both in the same person, amazing. I think our most dire situation and need is in the centre back situation. We need to get at least three centre backs. If we sell Varane, if we
Yeah.
sell Lindelof, we need to replace those two and
Yeah,
bring
but
an extra backup.
that's clear as daisy. We need to build from the back. We're losing Johnny Evans. We're losing Varane. 100% we're losing Varane. We need two centre backs. Left-footed, right-footed. That's clear. That's the target that we know, right? But the thing is,
100%.
regarding this statement, what media is saying, why would they come out and doing a statement? He's already employed.
Exactly.
It's media driven. It's media driven. What if they just go on with it, right? Plausibly to say they are negotiating. Listen to me now carefully, right? This is the footballing operation that way it works, right? The way that you've seen they are speaking just in case Ten Hag says no is basically they're renegotiating new terms. The existing contracts gives them the power to have a veto in all the recruitment. The new contract says this is the situation, this is the structure. Your role is now head coach, not manager, right? It's
Yeah.
changing his job description, meaning amendment to his contract, right?
Makes
Nothing to
sense.
do with the pay increase, more about roles and responsibilities. This is the way we're going to operate. If you say no, that in case we are talking to other people, if you say no. But
True.
he, on the other hand, has gone away on holidays, reportedly be back next week. Media say he's going to be back this week. He's going to be back next week. He would have looked for other jobs by time of this hour, and everyone is pointing a manager. So that tells me media is spinning this to the max. Because in these meetings, this is actually the first meetings where everyone is sitting together. Trust me, Omar Barada is sitting there on his Skype or whatever, WhatsApp, and calling in as well, having a finger in the pie. Ashwood, the same. This happens, right?
Mhm.
And you know what? I called it as well. Like, you have Wilcox. He's acting like he's sitting on three chairs at the moment: technical director, sporting director, and head of recruitment. So he's there involved with Matt Hargreaves in negotiations. So I think that actually they have sat down, they took the time to look at the targets, because they do have short list and long list. They might have come to Michael Olise to say, do we really need this priority at the moment?
That's the
Maybe they
thing.
drop the ball and they look at, can we bring back Greenwood? Can we bring back Sancho? Could we?
I
Could they
think
work with the manager? Could they kiss and make up? Because all of a sudden, it's not the manager's choice. Manager now reports into people. They reports into other people. They set the style of play. They set the culture X, Y, Z.
The reality is, if Sancho's statement is true, what he said, he's only going to come back and play if Ten Hag is gone. I think immediately we should get rid of him. I don't care if we take a
I,
loss of
I,
60%, 70%. I would sell him for 20 million in the morning. And that's just because he's disrespectful to the
yeah.
club, to the fans, to the badge. Have nothing to do with our
And he's not
manager.
good enough either to play on the right wing.
I
He's not good
mean,
enough.
I think I think the focus is more on the opportunities that may have a possess put opportunities that may have arisen in terms of one or two players. Like, we made a bid for Benjamin Sesko. We also made a bid for Joao Neves. So
Yeah.
maybe those two opportunities presented themselves to Manchester United, and they said, you know what, we want these two players more than we want
Listen,
Olise and anyone else at the
let's
moment.
let's park this in about people. Otherwise, we will have an endless conversation. Winning trophies with the least cohesive squad in the league. Imagine if we had a good squad. I think we will have a good squad, man. Seriously, I think we will. Um, it's not Panic Station. It's not PlayStation. You know what I mean? PlayStation, where you just do FIFA transfer like this, and I think they have a plan, but they are a little bit behind the plan, right? A little bit behind. They're looking at the finances. They're probably taking into consideration if we don't spend before 1st of July, it doesn't really make sense because Euros is on, and then we trigger. Then we trigger. Linda Warrington, big up to you, saying no player is bigger than the club. Sancho doesn't deserve to return and should not be holding club for ransom. 100%. But this is what majority of the fan base are saying. 100%. So
100%.
I think they took that in consideration. I know they've done investigations, talked about Mason Greenwood, be or not to be. They've done what went wrong in this investigation. HR fucked up and leaked it out and blah, blah, blah. But what about this story that they demand 40 million upfront? What does it say to you?
I mean, in my honest opinion, what is makes sense for Manchester United? Like at the end of the day, we have our own situation to deal with. We know that we don't have 300 million to spend guaranteed. Maybe we have it, or maybe we don't. Maybe we have 100 in cash. But what we need to do is to target the most important targets that present themselves opportunity to get them now, secure them, and work with what we have going forward. I mean, I
Yep.
think we've seen many windows where United have moved super slow, a little bit out scattergun to the end of the window when it's about to close. Maybe we might see some early movement in this window. We might see some targets come in early. We might have pre-agreements arranged as well, Mick. So for me, I kind of want to give the benefit of the doubt to this new structure that came in. And I don't want to assume that they just go and operate the same way that they've been operating for the last 10 years. So in a way, I kind of a little bit excited and a little bit, I try to hold in my opinions because I feel like we are going to do some business in the first 2 weeks of this window. It might be, it might be cost-effective players, or it could be a marquee signing. That's just how I
It
feel.
could be. It could be. But regarding Greenwood situation, that needs to be resolved and Sancho urgently because they're returning back to Carrington either way. For them to come out to say we want 40 million upfront and a decent sell-on clause, it's kind of mad, isn't it? It kind of gives you like, if we don't give it, we don't really want to sell him. Therefore, we're putting on this 40 million price upfront and a huge percentage on sell-on clause. And currently, like, what the reports saying, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Dortmund, Lazio, Napoli are all interested in signing him permanently. Let's go over Barcelona, financial troubles. They will not have money to put up 40 million up front. Atletico Madrid might do it, right? Dortmund, no way. If they're going Dortmund and spinning around to say, we don't have the money to buy Sancho, we want to negotiate on a permanent loan. Hello? They're not going to buy the 40 million. Okay, who's left? Lazio, Italian clubs, Napoli. We know
There's
that
also
Napoli has a new manager called Conte. There's apparently also sniffing around. He wants our Amrabat as well.
as
Maybe they
well.
can do it. But 40 million
Maybe.
upfront, nobody really does it because they do it in amortization, split up the fee, plus a huge. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a giveaway that we are willing to sell him if you give us this. If not, we are happy to retain him because we are looking for a striker.
100%. And
Yeah.
if you look
And
at
we will
it
deal with this
prospectively,
repercussion. We will deal with this PR shit. We will deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty normal because the most important thing, Mick, is that there are seven Premier League clubs that are interested in purchasing Mason Greenwood as well. As a tally of probably like 15 or 16 clubs in the top tier of all genres of
Yeah,
European football.
yeah,
Now, when a player in that high demand, I mean, there's something has to be said about his ability
yeah.
and talent, you know.
Berba, big up Berba. I like trophies. Eric Ten Hagen, big up Berba. Good morning to you. What you Berba is saying, we might have to use him as a bargaining chip in a deal, a straight up swap. Could be,
Possibly.
possibly, could be. But anyway, this needs to be resolved, and I want to sort of land back to why we're dropping the ball on the winger situation, right? This kind of gives me an indication that we are kind of dropped the ball on it, that we're no longer interested, and that's why Chelsea are going all in now, right? They're also going all in for Benjamin Sesko, which we're going to talk about next. But I want to bring this to to your attention, guys. Let me just go through my notes. Yeah, so Chelsea are going all in for Olise. Chelsea are going all in for Sesko as well. Arsenal, United, Chelsea. I know they've been heavily talking to, Elvis Bosanovic, his agent. Elvis is looking currently who offers the best package, right? But here's the
100%.
thing. Here's the thing. My colleague Dale O'Donnell from Australia News did a brilliant article to say United looking for alternative winger. It's Leeds winger, Crescencio Summerville. Crescencio Summerville. I don't know if he's a Champions League. He's Leeds starlet, registered 22 goals. He's 22 years old, registered 19 goals and 9 assists in the Championship.
I
So
mean,
I mean,
you
come on.
see,
Is this kind of like, why is them coming, say, we will drop the ball on Elise, we will not entertain this race with Chelsea? Because if Chelsea comes in, Chelsea usually win. They slap silly wages on, they will trigger that release clause. Elise is reportedly to be a Manchester United fan, but money talks at the end of the day, right? Now, the minute I read this, what Dale is writing, that they are looking for alternative, they've been scouting Leeds Somerville. He's 22 years of age, 19 goals, 9 assists. That kind of tells me a little bit they're kind of dropping the ball on Elise.
I
They are
mean,
not willing to play the long game because they're waiting, because that is not the priority. The priority is to start to spend 2 centre backs, 2 midfielders, and then look potential striker and a winger. What is your thoughts?
I mean, okay, I think Olise is hugely talented. I think, we're going to see, especially because we're going to get a glimpse of this talent when he plays for France this summer in the Olympics. Um, Not really too keen on Somerville, and I'm not really excited. I mean, like, I'm probably one of those one fans that everyone is going to be mad at
Is it
because
Dutch?
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, you know what? I would bring back Mason Greenwood, save 70 or 50 or 60 or 40 million. At the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
the
yeah.
day, I want to save money and I would reinvest that in midfield
But
and
do you
defense.
understand all of a sudden why there's rumors coming out about Somerville? There's rumors coming about
Hmm.
Leon Bailey, different alternatives. So who says that we? Is a media has been saying from that is our prime target, Olise. I don't mind Olise. He's very creative. He's a very good winger. But I just don't know, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you see, multiple talents. Olise, hugely talented. He could play inside. He's a winger that likes to cut in through the middle and come in and create space, create and make and help create for his team. He links up very well with the number 10 at Crystal Palace, which is Eze. Probably would do the same with Bruno. I think there's so many talented wingers that it's really take your pick at this point. Manchester United as well have a lot of talented wingers. We have eight.
Yeah.
Eight, and that's
Guys,
just
yeah,
under
listen,
24.
I'm just putting it out there. Like, it's a weird connotation that all of a sudden our number one target that been linked since January last year as well is already, we dropped the ball and we're letting Chelsea to have him, right?
Mm.
And Chelsea's also chasing Benjamin Sesko's skirt. We're going to finish off the poll. Michael Hill is saying, what are you talking over there? Of course we want Pep, but the chance of Mick getting the job is bigger than us getting Pep. 100%. So I'm just going to go to the poll. I'm going to close it and I'm going to reveal the poll, guys. And the poll is now 40 votes, right? Saying, would you take Pep G as your next coach? 30% says yes, and 70% said no. I will end that poll. Boom. So the community has spoken. What is Jarle mean saying? I can see why United are looking at Archie Gray. Are we looking at Archie Gray? He played 44 games in
Yeah,
the
we
season at
actually are.
18 years of age, 1 goal. Still young. Still young. Still young. Listen, whatever happens, happens. We don't know jack shit. We're going to sign Jack Shitso or Jack Shits from Japan. I don't know. I don't really know. But that was something that sort of caught my attention that Somerville is alternative, right? And a
Mm.
cheaper alternative.
Yeah, he's not a bad
Um,
player at all.
yeah. And regarding Benjamin Sesko, of course, we're going to talk about that one as well. Manchester United and Chelsea have apparently put in some proposals for it. I know I've been mad about Benjamin Sesko, right? There is a release clause on 45 million that is valid to at a certain times before it kicks into 60. There's conflicting reports, but also we know that he's a valuable. He's been setting the Bundesliga on fire this season as well. He's an upcoming in the making, right? You would be mad to say no about Sesko, right? United has been heavily scouting for 18 months, talking. Now it's time to trigger.
Mm.
What is the proposal, right? If you go to Arsenal, you're guaranteed to play in Champions League, right? You're more likely to
True.
start over the existing striker, the Brazilian, what is his name?
Gabriel
Gabriel
Jesus. I
Jesus,
kind of
of
doubt
course.
that, Mick. That's the
Wait,
confusion
let me
part
land.
here.
Let me land. Chelsea, again, Chelsea, they're spending silly money. Why is nobody looking at the finances at the moment? They're just splashing the cash. We'll offer him silly packages as well. They have Jackson.
Mm.
Right. So why would they go for Sesko? They need a more of a proven striker, and they're looking at Osman as well, 100%. So everyone is looking at the striker market. Depends on what Manchester United had proposed in that package. You know, Elvis Bosanovic's agent has been doing the rounds. He's been at Emirates Stadium speaking to Arsenal. He did the tour. He's been at speaking to Todd Bowley, and the last but not least, he was on the FA Cup final watching City and speaking to them as well. Now the proposals coming in. But the benefit and the trump card what he holds is basically that Leipzig want to retain him and offer him another, a new contract, important contract with a pay rise to increase his value. The
Mm.
question is, what does he want? I think the Sesko wants to leave.
I think so as well. I mean, I see, I know my body Compos and one of my other guys in chat, they're not too huge fans of Benjamin Sesko, but I've been watching Benjamin Sesko for the last 3 seasons. I watched him at
He's on
Salzburg.
fire.
I watched him I watched him play for his country's home nation as well. And I can say this much about this lad. If in a run of games, his form gets red hot and he's bound to score in every game he plays. He's not the type of striker that needs 90 minutes a game. He could come in 20 minutes and score a goal and get an assist. That is the kind of striker he is. Because if you look at his performances this season, he's played less than 7 total games worth of minutes, but he's played 22 games. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
he's been coming on as a substitute. He has had, I think it was like eight goals and 8 assists, or 13 goals and 8 assists, or something like that. That's a good return. This is a young
Well,
striker that could still
listen,
develop.
if we are building a squad for the future, Mark, he's the guy, right? I'm going to switch scenes because it's more interesting to have your VAR engagement too. You can see each other. So be careful what you're writing because everyone can see what you're writing now. Be nice to each other. We have Madhouse coming in as well. Big up Sesko and Rasmus. Listen, yeah, Yalama means saying, can Chelsea afford Olise and Sesko? Question mark. Can they afford
Ah,
splashing the cash on Osimhen? Question
I
mark.
mean,
They've
that's
sold a hotel to stay afloat. They have more hotels to sell. They're doing a
Probably.
madness. They have a shit structure of ownership, a glazer. No, and listen, it's like Ed Woodward. Like, I want to be in the limelight. I don't care. I want to just whatever everyone is buying, I will buy. Todd Bowley, come on, man.
Mm.
They would do it. They're mad, really. How they do it, I don't know. Where the money's coming from, I don't know.
If it's one thing Chelsea has been lucky with in the last 10 years, is money. You know what I mean? They sell well, the owner spends well, and it's just one of those things. Now, to each their own. We are developing something right now that I feel maybe in the next 2 seasons you might see, our academy churning out players for the tune of $15 to $25 million per player, just coming out of the academy. And when we get to that situation, maybe that will be us in a few years
We'll
because
see.
we have the fan base that can really support that in terms of a sustainability perspective. So it's
Yeah,
one
but
of those things.
here's the funny thing: we shouldn't be CEOs. We shouldn't be director of footballs. We shouldn't be the scouts here. We should just be fans enjoying what we're getting, right? Instead, we're
Mm,
getting involved. No, it's too expensive. No, and Berba, I like your comment. Like, this is clever box thinking. Full Krug for a swap for Sancho, 30 million full swap. That's that could be done.
mad if we get full crew, bro. Next season we can challenge for the league. This fella is a brute, and he have a
He's a
very
brute,
very clean. He's a brute. Knows
a
and
brute.
he have talent on the ball. He's very good on the ball, comfortable. He could dribble. He have a
Yeah,
good bit of pace.
yeah, yeah,
He's good in the air, but he's a brute. It's like one of
yeah.
those bulldozing strikers. I just think, I wasn't thinking about it. Good shout there. Good shout, Bilbao. Good
Yeah,
shout.
I know. I know. We're also looking at Cunha from Wolves as well. Not a bad shout either. The
Not a
way
bad
he's
shout.
kind of he drops deep. He's involved in the play, link up play. He's just not the prolific box to box striker as well. Um, I know Brute like Weghorst, but Madhouse is saying.
Nah, he's not like where he was. This guy is score goals. This guy was playing in the Bundesliga to dry. 18 months ago, guys. 18 months ago, this guy was playing Bundesliga dry on Sundays,
Okay.
right?
So where do we land on Benjamin Sesko? Where do you think he's gonna go then, guys? Where do you think
United.
Sesko?
I think he coming to United. I think it's a done deal. Like that's just the way I feel. If Arsenal didn't get him, he comes to United. And in my honest
Listen,
opinion, Arsenal
wunderbar.
may have UCL, but let's be real. They don't have 500 million fans worldwide. What you rather play in the UCL next season, or be backed and loved by 500 million fans and play
Well, there's two
UCL
players.
in
Like,
your
look,
second season?
you play Europa League. You're still young. You can still play Champions League. You have plenty of years to play Champions League. You're 20 years of age. Same with Matthias Cunha, right? He never played Europa League whatsoever, right? It's possible to do. It's possible to do. It's wunderbar what Jackhoff is saying.
100% wunderbar.
Wunderbar, wunderbar. Wunderbaum, like you used to have in your car. That smells good. It's the
Yeah.
pine tree, Wunderbaum. Um, but at the end of the day, like, guys, we know that we are looking for a striker. Who that is going to be, nobody really knows. Will they drop the penny? I know that Sesko is the number one target of United. It's always been there. So it's who blinks first. Like, Arsenal was not linked to him. Chelsea's just there just because Chelsea's Chelsea, right? At the end of the day, we'll go for Osimhen to trigger that silly money, 100 million. And they still have to give Lukaku away for free. Yeah, by the way. You see how they
Yeah.
do business. It's going to be interesting, but two centre backs, 100%. That's what we need. Inacio, Link, right? Who the other one is, Lenny Euro, perhaps Braithwaite is out because he's out of price. Midfield, we are linked to João Neves, the youngster. Apparently, we're going to put in a bid for him as well. Wow. Where's the money coming from, Big Lebowski?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like we need to be creative, and this is the things that you want us to do. Like, the media when the media reports we going for this player and that player. You know what I realize happens? Those clubs prepare for us, and
Right.
they add on 20-30 million to the player. So maybe
Right.
going
I'm
for
gonna I'm
players
gonna
that
sort
not
of
expecting.
Mark, I'm going to try to wrap up this video talking about the midfield because João Neves we've been heavily linked with. We have a good relationship with with Benfica, right?
Hmm.
So we basically did a good deal. We get good deed with Alvaro Fernandez. Potentially, that has to do something that we could get this alleged target, the next up and coming, right? Nobody really talks about Collier, the next up and coming potentially Frankie De Jong ball carrier as well and break up play guy. He's going to be involved in next season. He's ours, zero spent. But we're going to talk about Sophie Amrabat as well because Sophie Amrabat, according to Di Marzio, is now waiting to hear from Manchester United. What's your intention, right? Regarding his future on this club. He wants to stay, but United has probably had these discussions, internal reviews. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? You retain Amrabat, low fee, doesn't take much in wages. Come on, man. And then you might get another signing there as well, a box to box or a number 6.
Yeah, I think retaining Amrabat is a good idea, especially because you already replaced him at Fiorentina. The negotiations going to cut that price somewhere between 12 to 15 million, so that's going to be next to nothing deal. Get him in. We should have gotten Sabitzer in last summer, but the board refused. It's one of those things, easy deals that make sense,
Yeah.
that improves us.
What's the deal? 80 to 100 million for Neves, according to Madhouse.
I heard we bid 58 million plus add-ons and they
It's a
refused it.
cheeky,
Yeah, I
cheeky.
mean,
Plus
maybe just to
add-on.
get any conversation for them to say, well, maybe if you send
Well,
70 and
they can talk. We have a new people involved. The proof will be in the pudding how we negotiate. Before we had Merta. Oh yeah, okay, take it. Do you know what? We need to set a precedent, and maybe we backed away from the Olise deal so that we will not overpay, right? Maybe they're looking for
true.
other gems, for 25 million, 30 million, and we should just get on board with that. I guess the proof will be in the pudding. But Sophie Amrabat for me stays because for me, we haven't seen much of him, but the last 4 games, we've seen if you give the player a run of games, of course he's going to get adjusted. You play him in the right position, which will liberate, Kobe Maynard to play his part as well. He was the glue, 100%. But we need something more to it. We need more of a Frankie De Jong type as well that can carry the ball, a distributor. Bruno Fernandes looks like he's ain't going nowhere. He's demanding, according to what media is saying, 350k a week. I said pay him, right? Because you already cut down the wage bill. Bruno deserves his contract. It's not about giving a new contract. He's got 2 years left plus 1 year extension to trigger. Maybe it's just an ad hoc to say we will just increase your wages. You will finish off your career when you're 33.
100%. I think whether or not there's a deal to get a new contract or not, I think Bruno is one of the players that we definitely need to keep in the squad. Looking at what they said about Joao Neves, 120 mil release clause. If we could convince them to sell for 60, 70, maybe, pay some add-ons like 40 million in add-ons or something, I'm fair with that. I think that works because he comes and
I'm in with
improves
that.
us. You
100%.
have a young Collier to come in to back him up as well as a Amrabat there to play next to him and a Kobe Manu and a
Yeah.
Bruno to play ahead of him. So, we need
Yeah,
to
no,
rebuild
I
the
agree with
squad.
Ten Hagen is saying here. We should building around Bruno, 100%, right? He's the captain for fuck's sake. Uh,
100%.
stats. He scored a screamer yesterday about Portugal. 10 games played for Portugal this season. 10 goals, 6 assists. Is Bruno the problem?
Scored a
No.
brace yesterday, to be fair. The
Yeah,
second goal
Bruno
was
is
the
a
better
great.
goal, though.
I can't see in the world anyone right now in the football market that can replace Bruno. I can't. Right? Burba is saying we have thrown a lot of money at players who put nowhere near the effort as Bruno. He's so important. If we have to add 50k, let's do it. We made lots of
100%.
we made lots back on Martial and Varane. We did, and also we're looking to sell Casemiro, and mad money is probably coming in from Saudi. You know what? They're willing to pay 80 million, 90 million just to have him as a poster boy, and that is 17 something. Actually, no, he's the highest earner at the club. 18 million freed up, right? So we
And,
can do it. We can do it.
and I
Anyway,
mean, I know you
yeah,
have to cut the stream, but you know what, guys? The aim is to be creative and to try and rebuild the squad.
right.
Get as much quantity and quality in as we could this summer, I think.
We got to talk more in depth with that with Swedish Rumble. We were supposed to do something on the weekend, but as the weekend passed by, we'll book in Swedish Rumble. It's a friend of mine as well, so we're gonna have him on the stream, guys. It's going to be interesting. If you haven't read Swedish Rumble's tweets, they're
Check him
quite
out.
amusing to read. Really good. He's got the finger on the pulse regarding the budgets, the structure, everything. So looking forward to do that stream, and we will let you know when we have him on. In the meantime, people, just stay cool and composed. Don't believe the media hype. If Ten Hag would have been sacked last week after after the FA Cup, imminent this week, today, ain't gonna happen. I don't think it's going to happen. The reports that Fabrizio Romano is milking the cow, nobody has a clue. There's been speaking to 4 different managers now. Reports coming to Ben Jacobs also now adding on that we are speaking to a manager that nobody's been linked with before. Makes sense as well, because we had the Omar Barada situation came out of nowhere. But we are far, far, far into this, and to replace a manager will demand money to sack him, and we're far into the process. I believe that already planned the budget, the targets, and now it's about to get kicking, right?
100%.
There's no way
Don't
they're going to
forget.
go in and release a statement that we are with Ten Hag. On the other hand, guys, think about this. This is Glazer still sitting in the background, thriving on this PR, letting this happening, because the more engagement, the more clicks, the more eyes on Manchester United. They're letting this happen 100% because PR. We've seen this before. Anyway, so listen, that is all for today. No news is good news. No bad news is good news either. And nothing is happening. Nothing is to report other than Bruno Fernandes probably negotiating his contract. Ten Hag, probably also his contract. But they can also run it down to October, December, and then discuss.
Also, Mick, our sister club is looking for a head coach, guys. I know you guys, we don't think about this because we are Manchester United fans, but we now have a sister club called OG Nice, and their manager just took over the Ajax job. So OG Nice is looking for a manager, and who was shopping for that manager? INEOS. So just consider these things as well, guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, Ines is looking. Maybe be Deserbi.
I think it might be Potter.
A Potter, yeah, 100% Potter. Right, there's no magic without a Potter, right? Seriously, guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for tuning in this lovely morning. And I apologize that we didn't do a stream. I just didn't feel like it was worth doing it to reiterate everything that's been said. But we have a community to talk to about. This is no sensational stuff. It's just us having a conversation. At the end of the day, to be realistic, I think Ten Hag will stay. I think we will do business. I think that we will get targets that we haven't heard of before. I think we will not get this Benfica target for a 120 million release clause. It's unrealistic. And I don't think we will get Olise. I think we will go for an alternative. And I think we are in for a shock.
Yeah, it might be an exciting one, guys. Stay tuned. You know what? Let's see what INEOS has to
If
do
we
to
go,
transfer.
wait a minute. If we get a Benjamin Sesko, I would do Saltamontans. I've been banging the drum on Sesko for months and months and months and months.
7 months to be fair, Mick. 7 months. You're
For
banging
me,
this
the
drum
most
since
important
November.
thing, Mark, for me and everyone in the VR, thank you for understanding, listening. Any winning team is built on a solid partnership in the back line. We need centre backs, right footed, left footed. We need a solid, fit wingers, fullbacks, 100%. We need midfielders, and that's it. And then you just add on a secondary striker. So, arguably to say, I would see that we will get 4 signings.
Yeah, I think it might be something in the region there, maybe 4 to 6. Because I think we might sign a couple defenders, to be fair, in my honest opinion. But let's look forward to see what they do. Hopefully they do it early and they do it, very creatively and cost effectively as well. Something that, will make the fans proud. So that's basically all we have to say, because no
Yeah.
news is good news. You know what
Now
I
we
mean?
don't have to be relevant news. It's basically coming out to discuss. I don't want to create clickbait stuff either. Everything that breaks on the media, we don't have to do a show about. It's better to sort of take a break, come back the day after and summarize everything and see what happens at the end of the day, right? We have money to spend. How much money we're going to spend, the proof will be in the pudding. Reacting on the Twitter news that came out that we probably will not spend anything until the 1st of July, basically makes sense as well because of the books. How many free signings? I don't know. We seem to not being linked to anyone there. Right. Box clever, as we discussed. Box clever. Free signings is also had to do with how much wages they demand. Like, so if you're looking for a Rabiot on a free, he probably will demand 250 or more. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. And you saw that they didn't want to pull the trigger for Tosin because he wanted 140 million in wages, and that means that he will be get paid more than Leach and all the stuff. So screw that. He's not a good player. I mean, he's a decent player, but he's not worth 140k a week. Sure. Anyway, it's been Mick Ruby here, and there's been Mark jumping in. And this has been the VR room. Thank you, everyone. And don't forget, on the way out, if you haven't done it yet, you know that thumbs, smash, smash, smash. Leave a comment in the non-comment section live as well. We'll always look forward to read it and reply it and give you love hearts and all that jazz. Until then, stay beautiful, people. Remember, Glazers are still running the show. We have to love you all, but we have to leave you. Bye, Mick and Mark, what Madhouse is saying. And what would a stream be without Madhouse? Beautiful people. Berber, Madhouse, Compost Smurf.
Big up to all of you guys. Lucky Singh. Hope you guys have a great day.
Yep. Thank you for the 28,000 subs. We are on a road for 30. Unbelievable. If we achieve this target, you will see me. I don't know. You tell me what I should do.
Dancing. Mick is going to be dancing like his little brother. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That one. Love you guys. Love this community. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Glazers out. See you to the next one. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.